Good morning, everybody. My name is Jody. My husband, David John, and I have a small farm in the panhandle of North Idaho. These are our stories and adventures, so welcome to Moose Flats Farm. Well, guys, last week at this time we were preparing the bird pens for uber deep freeze. We're talking double-digit negative degrees. And this week, as you hear, it is absolutely downpouring and almost 40 degrees. So let's go get some water for the birds and I'll show you how we prepared their pens for the super cold that we got. So the geese and the two turkeys have been in here for just about a week now, and I'll let them out and I'll show you the door that we built, and then we'll let the other turkeys out. Okay, that's some happy birds. But actually I should, before I completely keep this door open, I should catch the two turkeys in here and get them over with the regular turkey flock. Okay, that gets the turkeys out of here. And the condensation from when it was uber cold is really thick in here. But what we have done is we went through and we did double layer both of the hoop houses. So it's got the opaque plastic on it and then the greenhouse plastic over the top, which really helped keep the heat in here. And with this one being lined with the hay bales, it definitely did make it a lot warmer in here. Even when it was -15, their water dish didn't freeze. So they look good on food right now. Let's go over and take a look at the turkey one. I'm not gonna let the turkeys out yet, just because I moved those two over there. I'll probably wait another couple days, and because it's a little quieter over there, I'll explain the doors that we constructed. And of course, because I introduced those two back in here, the turkeys are going to be a little loud. But as far as the door goes, there's the basic door for both of them. We did purposely do this bottom design here because this spring what we'll do is we'll take the doors off, get them painted and box wire put over them. But in this spot right here, we will leave that completely open, kind of like a doggy door premise, so that way the door can be closed and the birds still have access to coming in and out of here. And as far as the ducks, I have gone through and processed about 50 of them. What we've done in here is we did have all their water dishes in here and covered this door with the opaque plastic. The main reason for that was just to work as a wind block. And we did have to deal with a little bit of water freezing in here, but it wasn't too bad. Over on the clear shed side, we did add this piece of OSB as a wind block. And put the 2 bales of hay over here. Just need to go through and get these guys fed their breakfast. But I am going to need to be removing some of this ice block here because their roof is starting to slide and it's just going to make a real treacherous mess to get in here. So let's go check on the chickens and then we'll start getting these pens kind of cleaned up. So in the chicken coop, because we do the deep litter method, which is just like we're doing out in all the other pens, about once a week I go through, and in the duck pen I'm alternating between doing a layer of pine shavings and then a layer of hay. But in the chicken run, it's basically just a fresh layer of the pine shavings. The goose pen is just grass, and the turkey pen for the most part is just the pine shavings. But they're all doing really good. And my little free rooster, I finally figured out what he is. He is a... And then my brain just went blank. I got it. He's a blue Andalusian. So, kind of a cool bird to have. But they're all doing good in here. Let's go out here and look at... And these guys out here. And Sultan the peacock is doing good. Yeah, I'm going to get you guys some water here in a minute. So I'm going to grab a bucket of water, bring it in here for these guys, and get their food dishes filled up. But I was lucky enough that during the super cold, we only lost one egg to freezing, and that was because it was laid on the ground and probably been there overnight, and I'd missed it the night before. Okay guys, so the concept of deep litter bedding is that as you get a layer of goo down, you just put fresh on top of it. It keeps it from smelling bad, and then it works on the compost theory that as the manure and the shavings or the hay or the straw that you're using slowly is decomposing, it puts off heat, which helps heat your bird. Okay, so as I was saying before my battery died, the concept of the deep litter method is, one, it controls odor, and it gives the birds a place to be dry. And as the bedding material and their waste starts to compost, it starts to act as a mini heater for them. So since the bulk of my compost that I'm creating this year is going to be coming from the 2 duck pens themselves, I have been doing a layer of pine shavings, and then I'll do a layer of the hay, just so that as I'm using it as compost, it's giving me a little more diversity of the compost instead of just straight pine and whichever foul fecal matter. So let's get this kind of picked up and get a layer of straw or hay down in this shed. And as you see, this side did give away. The snow came off. Didn't crush any ducks because of course I was right in the middle of feeding everybody. But I got that cleaned up, so let's get some hay put out. So, looks good in here. Now we're going to go in the lean-to, and I've already got about 6 inches between the grass hay and the pine shavings of compost layer in here. So I'm just gonna go through, put another layer down of the grass hay, since the last time I did this it was pine shavings. Okay, so that gets in here good for another week. And I did get kind of a walkway shoveled out here. Now have a big mound of snow right there. So let's go do the chicken coop and we'll get them freshened up for the next week. And I got the door open and Sultan is sitting right there in the doorway. But the first step I'll do is I'll go through and clean off the roosts, and where there's big deposits of manure from them sleeping, I'll go through and kind of rake that around. And it's one of those, if it starts getting too deep in the chicken coop itself, I can take some of this and dump it out into their covered area, which will probably happen in about another month. So I'm gonna go through, do the little cleanup on this, and then we'll get some shavings put down for them. Time lapse, I did just remove some of the old shavings from in the chicken coop out to here. Gonna go through and kind of rake that out and do a little top dressing of fresh for them. So that gets in here pretty much good. I gotta go down and get the bucket of wood ash. And especially in the winter when we have a fire going and we have access to the wood ash from the wood stove, we put it in their dusting barrel. It helps with the prevention of mites on the chickens. And another thing we have added in the past is the food grade diatomaceous earth, just to keep the mites at bay, since we, knock on wood, have never had an issue with them and don't want to start with an issue. What do you guys think? Well guys, now that my camera's warmed back up and not turning off every 8 seconds, even though I don't typically lock up my birds at night, the main reason that we did get the doors put on the 2 hoop houses was because of the brutal cold. The geese go in and out, but they don't really sleep in it at night. And because they're the Chinese crested and the Africans, they've got that bony, it's not really bony, but the soft, fleshy horn on the top of their heads that is extremely susceptible to frost damage. And I didn't want them to injure their horns, so that's the main reason they were locked in when it was super cold. If it gets super cold again, they will get locked back up, but as long as the temperatures are warm, gonna let them free range out in their pen during the day and at night. We do have a light that comes on at night, so their pen is semi-lit up, so it makes it less susceptible for predators to want to come into the light because it's easier to be taken out that way. So this is where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you have a good day and a good week, and until the next one, bye for now.